Yes.
Happy Monday and welcome to another Boundless Brains Black History Month author chat. Today we got another author with us, Mr. Jeremy Sims. First of all, tell everybody hello, tell everybody about yourself, and we're going to get this conversation started.
Hello, I am Jeremy Sims. I'm administrator of HEAL Ministry LLC. Also, I'm a holistic wellness coach and also an author here in Washington, D.C. And I'm just excited to be here in order to just give a word of encouragement and also hope for the literacy program, the Literacy Foundation. I'm very excited for this opportunity to just give back to our community.
Yeah, and so we do thank you so much for donating. What you donated 50
Yes.
books. So that is absolutely amazing. We
Yes.
cannot thank you enough for that. And so we're also hoping eventually to get you in to have some FaceTime with the kids. Trust me, it is such it's an experience, considering I've had to do it twice because I'm local to the chapters of the Boys and Girls Club that I was at. So
Okay.
excited to get you into a place as well. So let me ask you this: becoming an author, you've authored several books.
Yes.
What made you want to speak to the youth in terms of the teen audience that your books cover?
The purpose for the youth and teen, because in looking at future tense of the world, those will be our citizens. Those will be our people that will be running the world and actually being able to put forth what I've learned through my experiences and also what I can teach others that I learned at an older age of how we should kind of enhance ourselves, enhance our abilities, only to make a harmonious world and also to grow in a diverse global community.
Yeah. So are your books fiction, nonfiction, a blend of both?
This one is a nonfiction.
Okay. And what is it about? Give us a little bit of
Oh
that.
wow! It's just about embracing authenticity. I think in an authentic world, in a polished authentic world, is diversity is just driving the force, and I think authenticity plays a vital role in shaping the way we connect.
Mhm.
And it's like how you like somebody or how you kind of mimic or see how that other person is reacting toward you too as well. But it's the way we connect, we learn, and we thrive just as a global community. It's not about color, it's not about race, it's not about isms or anything. It's about having that authenticity and being the authentic you, no matter what. So many times people put us into this box that we should do this and we should do that. But being your authentic self gives you an idea of who you are, where you're going, where you want to be, and it's a part of that program of from adolescent to teen to youth to adult that brings out that best in you and actually displays a natural feel in this world.
Mhm. So now you talk about authenticity, and let's talk about social media, especially when it comes to youth and teens. How do you really speak to an audience that is driven by likes, that's driven by, some level of popularity, or, the need to feel validated online? So how can you know, how do you write to this generation to let them know that it's okay to live in their authentic truth when social media is definitely very present in their lives?
And let's just think about it like this: the importance of authenticity in today's world. I want you to just picture this with me: a world where everyone feels free to express themselves, regardless of their gender, their abilities, or their background. It's a whole world where individuality is celebrated. So it's time to stop looking at those that, because I say this all the time: the world don't need another copycat.
Mm.
And we need to celebrate people's individuality and not just tolerate what we're actually looking at. So authenticity isn't just a buzzword; it's the foundation of a more inclusive and an accepting society. So no matter what the gender or the ability or disability is or the background, instead of looking at them, I want them to look inside themselves and figure out what that authenticity is for them. And I know the social media drives a lot of like follows and people, say this and say that, but I want them to get the feel that they feel within themselves, because that what poses what's new for the new world.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I definitely 100% agree. So, as you're writing your books, because I'm sure you have some more coming out. You have quite. How many books do you have? Let's let our viewers know that. How many books do you have?
I'm gonna tell them to go to Jeremy B. Sims and Google it, and you'll see how many I have, and then be excited about it. And once you find out, I will give a prize to people who tell me how many books I really have.
Oh, you see, yeah, marketing strategy. The plug there. Um, no, that's. Hey, look, I'm gonna have to use that one. Wait a minute. But as you're writing all of your books and you're detailing different things, and because all of your books have different messages,
Yes.
and they're all very powerful messages. So when you are writing, how, what is going through your mind that's saying, this is important to put out there, this is important to put out there, and do you ever feel like you have to reel things back?
I think for me, it's all about how I'm driven by the Holy Spirit, and I ask God to lay that foundation for me. One thing when I start writing, God told me, make it readable, make it relatable, and make it relevant.
Mm.
So I'll never go wrong as long as I'm still guided by the Holy Spirit. Some things that I do is I remove myself when I feel like Jeremy is getting in the way. I go lay down because basically I have to pull myself back and making sure that I'm getting the message that's supposed to be going out versus the message I want to give. A lot of my books come about to be on the 8th grade level, because I understand everybody didn't go to college, everybody didn't reach a certain level of education too as well. So some of my books are on 8th grade level, that gives them the idea that, hey, I can read this too, because we still have literacy, uneducated literacy in people that are of age that didn't have that source or resource to go and read and things like that. So this gives them an opportunity to actually pick up a book and start reading.
Wow, that is so profound, that to be able to write and say, what, I understand not every demographic can read novels. So
Yes.
let me scale it back and
Mhm.
talk about representation. You're talking about really truly making things relatable. Speaking of, let's talk about, when it comes to literacy and why it is so important, not just for youth, because you did tap on something so significant, that when you say 8th grade reading level, right? And
Mhm.
now you're talking about adults who are on an 8th grade reading level. Why is it so significant to start reading much earlier, especially than we did, so that we can start closing the gap even for adult illiteracy?
Um, for me, I think because I started reading at an early age too as well, but I know people didn't have that opportunity. So I think the more we are more informed through research and through society, and accepting what you're doing here is doing literacy programs where we have those kids that may be in an impoverished neighborhood that don't have the resources, but giving resources back to them, and also building up that group or that organization or that agency where we can continue to put give back, because we don't know how. I can say like my father's age, we don't know how they grew up, but
Mhm.
in that we know what we have right now, and we know literacy is somewhat hard in impoverished neighborhoods. So why not give back to those kids that are impoverished, that don't have the resources? But then again, the strongest point of it is, let's go to Congress, let's go to these the big people and say, look, there's a problem. And what is the need? What is our definite need? The need for literacy. And I'm that's why I'm excited to be a part of this program, and understanding that literacy is something that we need to continue to build, because that's the only way our nation will grow. Because, and I think I know in the Bible it says, because we die, we die, we perish for lack of knowledge.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
knowledge is in reading.
mhm.
So if I don't want people to perish, let's just say that. If
No,
you continue,
yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I often always say that knowledge is not even considered knowledge until it's passed.
Yes,
Otherwise it is just information in your head. It does
that's
not,
it.
if it's not going to change your life, if it's not going to make an impact or anything else relatable to that or close to that, you're just speaking. It's just like, okay, it's not necessarily needed to be put out in this world, but real knowledge needs to be passed. And the only way it
Yes,
can be called knowledge is if it's passed on to someone else and they can learn from it.
yes.
So I definitely 100% agree with you there. So when it comes to literacy and children, what does your heart speak to? I mean, is there a specific age that you prefer? Because I know you write to an 8th grade level and yours is more teen and youth.
Yes.
Is that your main passion, or is it also for like the younger kids as well?
I think it will get to that about the younger kids, but because I was worked for community in schools as a site coordinator, and I dealt with a lot of ninth graders and high schoolers and things like that. That was my passion, and in it, I took the ninth grade class and raised the promotion level up to 95% because it was very low in the Title I program. So I think that part, because those people back then, those ninth graders weren't had the ability to read. So we had a lot of after school programs. We had a lot of events that we put them in to engage them, because number one is the one thing I tell people, we don't know how people are parenting. We don't know what they go home to. We don't know what they hear at night. We don't even know if the parent can read. So it's a lot of gaps within the system that needs to be figured out, but then understand that how can we involve that parent if that parent doesn't know how to read?
That's true. I
Yeah.
think the other thing when it comes to reading, there's a lot of complexities to it
Yes. Yes.
in terms of literacy as a whole. And I know when people hear literacy, they immediately think, oh, but I know how to read.
Yeah.
When literacy is much more complex than that. It is the ability to comprehend,
Mhm.
reading, to have understand the social cues that come
Right.
along with what's unspoken communication. And so when you think about literacy on a grander scale, what would you like to see shifted or changed in the narrative of it?
I think literacy in itself, let's not be just caught up in a writing structure.
Hmm.
I think what we need to do is let's be able to read the content of literacy, whatever that looks like. Because at any point in time, I'm given like the age of computers now. It's like the computer is doing everything for you. Where can we get back to that natural writing, that natural feel, that natural comprehension, where now they've even taken cursive writing out of schools?
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of things they're taking out. So will they be able to comprehend, or will they want the computer to tell them everything?
Yeah.
So we need the comprehension part. We need that actual reading part. We need it where those children are more engaged in that process versus siloed in a one-on-one stuck at a computer.
Oh yeah, I love that. And here's what's interesting, and I can't say it's funny to me because it really is not. I have been in a line at a supermarket and I've given cash. And if I gave change, if the machine does not tell them how much to give me back, they don't know. And so that's the driving force of what computers are doing. It's like computers
Yes.
are supposed to make us smarter, but it's in reality, it is making us dumber.
Yeah.
In other words, because when I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, if it's $1.23,
Yeah.
like I'm giving a quarter, it's how much change,
Yeah.
it's a lot that just goes on.
It blows them all the way back. Like
It does.
what?
Like let me calculate.
And I had somebody count on their fingers. It's like,
Oh
no.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, but
I said,
this is the
yeah.
impact that
Yes.
literacy really has.
Yes.
So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to partner as a part of this, to really bring about awareness, not
Yes.
just of books. But I mean, I think it's important that our children during Black History Month have availability and accessibility to books with characters that look like them. That's heads down number one. The second part is that as a literacy foundation and the founder and the president of the Literacy Foundation,
Mhm.
um, we don't teach reading. That's not what it's about. It's connecting literacy with life. So it's teaching you how to do real estate. It's teaching you STEM programs. It's teaching you gaming. It's teaching you networking. It's teaching you leadership skills. It's teaching you how to be functional in this world. Now, the only downside here we go back to is technology. So with technology now, as a writer, what are your feelings of people who are using AI to write an entire book?
I think the feel is to engage AI, not for your whole book, but
Hmm.
to those parts that may need fine tuning.
Hmm.
And the thing is, if you allow AI to write your whole book, that means it's not inclusive of you.
Hmm.
I think one thing people have to understand is AI is a machine. So what is that feeling, or what is that input that you're putting into it? So moving forward is with AI, I think it's challenging for some people because now you have to manipulate a system in order to put something in there. So it might not come out as you may feel like it would come out.
Yeah.
And then now it has to go through editing and things like that too as well. And some of your things might not correlate with each other or align to actually have a story. So
Mm.
you have a lot of drawbacks from that because basically you're looking for someone to actually produce something for you that probably is not going to turn out to be an actual storyline.
Wow, I never even given it that deep of thought. That's,
And that's true.
I'm a writer because in my mind, I just thought, writing has a lot to do with creativity.
Yes.
And to be able to tap into that creativity to bring about a story, whether you're writing fiction or nonfiction.
Yes.
Do you have a nonfiction book?
Um, did I say it was fiction? It's a nonfiction book.
Nonfiction? Okay.
I have nonfiction and a fiction book.
Fiction books. Yeah. So your nonfiction book, it's about real life.
Oh yes, real life and non-action.
Is it about you at all?
My nonfiction books are about my experiences. Some of my experience, embracing authenticity. When you see my afterword in there, it's about something that I've gone through.
Okay.
Yeah. And I base a lot of the books off my experiences. I've had so many experiences. I can give you a plethora of jobs and careers that I've had. I didn't just stick with the, oh, well, be this, be this, be that. I took on the ability to take on so many things, and round in my current job, I'm doing a whole lot of things. But that's how I thrive, being that I'm not stuck to a box. And
Hmm.
sometimes things box you in, and a lot of people tire out or become bored because they're stuck to finance only. They stuck to, I'm just going to be this. People that's on blue collar work, they're stuck doing that, and that causes a lot of depression and anxiety too as well.
Hmm.
Because now, where are you moving to? And if you're not going up in the ranks, you're stuck there, and you're going to continue to complain.
Hmm. So can you be doing too much and lose pieces of what you feel like is your purpose, or can you be purposed to do multiple things?
I'm purposed to do multiple things. Remember, I was preordained and
Yeah.
already made. God already did this for me, so this is
Well,
where
'cause I
I
mean,
am.
I know people that say, "Oh, if you're doing too many different things, then you're not really operating in your purpose." And
Yes,
so, it's what makes me say that. That's what made me ask the question, like, if
yeah.
you've done all of these things, is it or all of these driven by purpose? So let me ask you this: of all of the things that you've done thus far, what has been your favorite?
Do I have a favorite?
Or has it not happened yet?
Mm, what was my favorite? I still have to say philanthropy,
Okay.
um, because it's helping, and helping and assisting to see the larger picture. Just like with the village the Fulani village in Africa, Senegal, and just helping them out and seeing whatever that high school will look like, because they can't bus their kids. They only have a elementary school and a middle school, and they don't have a high school in that area, and they will have to actually bus them to the Car Synagogue in the city, and they stay way far out where the resources are limited, and the families don't have cars and things like that too as well. So when I visited them, my whole goal was to say, look, let's build a high school out here, because once they're done with middle school, that means they go out in the field, or they go work or do something, or make some money on the side of the street or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for them if they're not bussed in, or well, they can't be bussed in because they don't have that resource.
Wow, that's heavy. I think there
Yeah,
are so many. I was having a conversation with during another author chat afterwards, and we was talking about the continent, different countries on the continent, and the lack of resources and the importance of them having the resources. And I think also the same way as here, but our resources are a little bit different. When
right.
that, sadly to say, the United States don't take care of its citizens, and they have the resources, whereas other countries are more impoverished because they don't have the resources
Yeah.
available. So when I love visiting different countries on the continent, because one, I don't know, it brings my heart to some
Yes.
level of peace. And it also helps me realize how blessed and how humble I have, I get to be, just seeing someone else happy with nothing.
Yeah.
So it's really made me look at my life like, you know what, I can do without, it's
Exactly.
never that bad. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I don't have to wonder if I'm going to eat. I don't have to wonder if I can find books or clothes or anything else. And
Yeah.
so I give back here just as much as I give back to different areas there. I've
Right.
donated books in South Africa. As a matter of fact, I donated books in Botswana when I was
Yes.
visiting a couple of years ago. So I agree with you. Philanthropy is something that is so impactful that it stands out amongst anything else that you can ever. So what's next for you? Do you have some more book ideas coming up? What's next for you?
Yes, I have a lot of book ideas. I did go to Houston this weekend. I went to this church called Restoration of Wood Forests in Houston, Texas. And I was listening to their worship, and their songs inspired me to write books and road maps for the song. I mean, it was just, oh my gosh, it was so amazing that I have so many notes from them, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a book. This is gonna be a book. This is gonna be a book. But as the pastor was talking, he was like, we're the DNA of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And that went a whole nother way for me. And so I'm just all of that I grasped. I got at least 12 books coming out of just that
Oh,
Sunday church.
okay. So, speaking of reading, let me ask you this, because, this is something that, for anybody who writes books that, and are watching or come back and watch during the playback, is it hard to tap into, being an author for Christian-based books? Is it, because is it harder that you have to market, or is it easier to market? What are your thoughts on that? Because I know a lot of people do fiction, a lot of people do nonfiction, they do political books, but really, I've never talked to an author that has a Christian-based series or Christian-based books. And so I wonder if, to help other authors who feel like, you know what, I want to write that, but I'm kind of scared to because it's Christian-based and it might not reach as many people. So I would love for you to speak to that.
Oh, and thank you so much, because I want to be very very keen on everything.
Okay.
Number one is I talk from a global perspective. I just don't hit on Christianity. I hit on atheism. I hit on Hinduism. I hit on Buddhism. I hit on Muslim. I hit on Islam. I hit on all of it, because the thing is, what I see is a harmonious environment. And regardless of what religion that you may be, is there some type of divine expression that exists within you. So how can we globalize that divine expression, no matter what it is, and come together as a harmonious community, being that in that divine expression or who you serve, that we can become a collaborative effort in addressing some of the same practices, worship practices, and different things that we do to make sure that we can level the spiritualistic piece of the whole gamut. And I think when we start individualizing and being separate, it becomes divided. So I'm breaking that gap in undividing and ensuring that everybody has a piece in this book. So no, I don't think it's just Christian. I don't think it's just I call them self-help books because a Hindu person can open it up. Somebody who's practicing Islam, somebody who can practice Buddhism can open it up because I give everything to it, being that I've actually sat with some of those people and we've had conversations, and those conversations that excited me to say some of the things y'all doing that they do in a Christian society. But we're so divided because, this is what we do. No, the divine is just one person.
Yeah.
That's it. So no matter where we are, we're still that one person. So why have we divided ourselves? So I don't divide because I see religion as exactly what it is. Some type of system that has divided different organizations or entities to be separate in what they do or what they say. If we're looking at Mormons and different people like that and all the other things, at any particular time, you have faith in who? That's it. And it's about faith. And I think my books are more faith-based.
Do you feel like you are a small percentage of faith-based Black authors?
Oh no.
Okay.
I might be like right now, but I'm writing toward the future. So most of my books probably won't get picked up until the future.
No, what I'm saying is like when, like I would say there are children's books for Black authors. There's a lot of us, but there's not enough of us,
Yeah.
And so I'm asking from the perspective of being a faith-based writer, do you feel like that's the same narrative or same kind of dynamic for you? Is, being a faith-based writer and and then a minority?
Yeah, definitely, because I think in our society, people have fear of writing about such things as faith-based, and meaning that they might touch soft spots that may go beyond the broken veil, if I can say that. And the one thing I do is put a lot of my holistic wellness practice into my writing. I do a lot of my human behavior into my writing, so they can come my ministerial piece of it too as well. So I combine those three elements to ensure that I'm touching each component and for is the mental, physical, and spiritual. So yes, a lot of people haven't gotten to the wellness of where I've gotten to. So they're afraid to touch it. So I would say it's pretty much low.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to make it a little higher. That's why I'm so glad that I'm having this opportunity to chat with you, and that you're donating books that are faith-based, because hopefully it inspires the youth to say, you know what, I have all these inquisitive things that I want to ask or talk about that I don't have an opportunity to, but now I feel comfortable because I have somebody to kind of give me the blueprint of being able to know what it looks like. Because sometimes that's all it takes. It's knowing that it exists and that you can touch it and feel it and read it and say, that's exactly what I've been wanting to say. I've just been afraid to say it.
Yes.
Yeah. So let everybody know where they can follow you, find you, where they can get your books from.
Oh, wow. So if you want to just find me in general, I tell people go to www.jbsims.com. Please do not put Sam's because that's what it sounds like. So I'm going to spell it for you. J is in Jeremy, B as in boy, Sims, SIMS.com. That's www.jbsims.com. All of my social media stuff is on there, my podcast, everything. I have a podcast called The Rise Creating Your Voice that happened in 2022. So my books are at Books A Million. Barnes and Nobles. They're also at Busboys and Poets for the ones that are in DC. My books are actually on Harvard online bookstore too as well.
Okay.
So I have so many. It's that I get wild so much. They're at Walmart. They haven't reached Target yet. Um, they're at Smashwords. I'm on Apple Music, Apple ebook or whatever they call it. You
Yeah.
know that I'm on Apple. It just Google me. I'm telling you, Jeremy B. Sims. Just look it up. Google me, and they'll pop all over the place. Some places I don't even know. I'm also international too as well. So I'm in Turkey and different places too as well.
Okay.
So just Google me. And that I think that's the easiest way. But if you really want to know more about me, you can go to www.jbsims.com.
Oh, thank you so much for coming out and just being so transparent and being authentic in your space. Thank you so much for donating the 50 books to the Boundless Brains the book donation drive.
Yes.
If anybody would like to donate books, and then of course come over here and hang out with me and chat, you can go to the bit.ly link, Boundless Brains book donation, and fill out the in-kind donation form. And in your thank you letter, it will tell you where you can send your books. Again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come
Thank
in,
you.
chat and just kind of share everything that you have going on. And you all make sure and follow him. If I want you to remember, and I can't reiterate enough that, I love having this platform right now because we can highlight different genres of authors, and I know you're going to make an impact. So I'm hoping this inspires to get more Black or BIPOC faith-based authors, because you know what, we all need a little bit of faith. We definitely do.
Just need a mustard seed side. That's all.
Exactly. So hang tight, and we, tune in. I'm not sure who the next author would be. I know we still have quite a few more that have donated that need to sign up for their author chat. But you know what? Even after Black History Month, I feel like this should continue on.
Oh, yes, yes.
Black voices do matter, and we have an opportunity to curate our own books, and we have an opportunity to curate our own platforms. Yes. So you all have an amazing rest of the week, or amazing week, because it's just Monday.
Yes.
All right. All right. Bye-bye.